Genshin Impact, the free, open-world role-playing game made by the Chinese company miHoYo that has taken the world by storm. I make it no secret, I am a huge fan of the game. I talk about it with my friends, draw its characters on our Jamboards, and even cosplay the characters in our per dev classes with whatever's in my closet. So you must be wondering, why am I so obsessed with this game? Well, personally, I love Genshin Impact because of its interesting world and lore, its captivating plot, and its lovable characters. Firstly, I love lore. In whatever fandom I get myself into, the fantasy world's history and culture are what enrapture me the most. I enjoy theorizing about past and future events based on the current plot, and thinking about how certain game elements affect how people would live their day-to-day lives. For example, some characters are able to harness the power of the elements, like ice or lightning. So even if the world is set in medieval times, have they invented refrigeration? Do they have working electricity? How do normal people view those who have this special power? What makes Genshin's lore and world building so interesting to me is that it isn't complex enough to be a boringly large info dump like one you might find in Lord of the Rings, but it isn't vague enough to make you believe the world wasn't thoroughly created with love and care. Rather, the intricacies of Genshin's world of Teyvat are revealed as you progress through the game, giving you time to absorb all the information being told. Teyvat's history is complex enough to make you think, but leaves enough room for the wandering of your imagination, a trait that I find special. Secondly, the plot itself. Genshin's story isn't as elaborately spun as some other paid games, but it does not fail to impress. The initial storyline you were introduced to is logical and easygoing, providing space for you to breathe as you learn the many basic mechanics of the game. However, as players progress and become more comfortable with the game, the theme of the unfolding events grows increasingly more dark, mysterious, and complicated. I mean, in the first chapter, all we had to do was save a city from a misguided dragon, whereas now we're dealing with a war-torn nation, the equivalent of the Russian mafia, and an alien organization whose goal is to wipe out humanity, all while dealing with themes such as loyalty, the price of eternity, and the value of one's ambition. Pretty deep. The complexity of Genshin's plot means that you don't have time to feel bored. There's always that feeling that there is so much to learn, so much to the world and its characters that you don't know and that you want to find out. Which brings me to my last and definitely my most favorite part of Genshin, the characters. Whether you like characters because of their unique personalities, their damage output, or simply because they're hot and you're a giant simp, you can bet Genshin has a character to suit any taste. You fight monsters with them, hang out with them, and learn more about them the longer you're with them. You could even say that these characters fuel Genshin's entire existence, since all players play and pay to gain one of the game's major currencies that allow them to collect their favorite characters. In my case, I love those who are quiet and meditative or just really friendly and wholesome. Kazuha and Bennett. But more than that, I enjoy seeing characters interact with each other. I enjoy seeing them live in such a magical world, teaming up to explore and solve problems. And as silly as it sounds, I formed bonds with these fictional anime boys, so I just love making them stronger and seeing where the story takes them. An island paradise, a dangerous domain, a mysterious mountain. Every update adds to the Vat's history and plot, and watching my favorite characters unearth new secrets right along with me will never grow dull. Now, let me tell you how miHoYo incorporates all my 3 points into Genshin. Events. With every update comes events, some of which take place in brand new areas for players to explore. These events center around their own separate mini-plots that involve interactions between different characters. all this comes with mind-bending lore, like how one character's chubby pet panda is apparently an ancient god. Yeah, I know. And it's precisely this unrelenting release of new and creative content that keeps old and new players alike so invested in Genshin. So, quick disclaimer, the reasons I enjoy Genshin may not be the reasons you might. One of my cousins likes exploring the open world and finding treasure, while one of my friends likes dissecting how to deal as much damage as possible, if only to see the funny damage numbers pop up on screen. And I must admit that the reason I got into Genshin in the first place was because I felt left out. All my friends were talking about fighting Oceanid, spending resin, or rolling defense thrice on the crit rate artifact, and I just couldn't understand what they were saying. I'm sure some of you don't either. But what has kept me playing was Genshin's well-executed world building and lore, its interesting events and plot, and my beloved characters. If I found nothing exciting about the game, I'm sure I would have dropped it a long time ago. Instead, I'm here, telling you all about it. So, I encourage you, try playing Genshin Impact, if at least once. Who knows, you might come to enjoy it as much as me and 9 million other people do, if not for the same reasons, for others that are equally valid and fun. Just don't blame me if you lack the self-control not to play in class. Thank you.